Good morning, everyone. Hope all is well. Hope everything's going all right. All right, so let's see where we leave off last class. Good morning. Good morning. We saw okay. That's all. All right, so we did not word problems, but solving the equations last class. Today, I know we're gonna do intro to word problems, and that is where did my thing go? Okay, so that's the last section out of chapter 3. Okay, so that's all we'll do today. I won't go into another section. Scatter plots 10. Trying to check some because they switched the book on me. So ratio, just looking at different things we got set up. Set diffraction. Yep. Okay. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. All right. So we'll just do that. It'll be 3.4 for you guys. Intro to problem solving. I don't know why I didn't write that title up there. I must have went to another set of notes. And then, because I don't see 3, so I'm trying to figure out why I didn't write myself a note. That's crazy. Okay, that's all right.
So we're doing section 3, 4?
Yes, 3, 4. And then we'll talk about how we're going to move forward after this. So 3.4, introduction to problem solving. All right, so I'm gonna scroll up those problems up here, and I'll probably do a few more just to make sure we're good. Let me pull up that assignment. Oh, it's not a many problem in this section. Sum number 5. Okay. All right, so let's look at a few problems and then we'll go from there. So twice the sum of a number and 4 is the same as 4 times the number decreased by 12. Find the number. So I'm going to erase some of these circles. We'll walk through it. Give you a chance to write that down. So twice the sum of a number and 4 is the same as 4 times the number decreased by 12. The number. All right. So this is a problem that's more like in an equation versus an actual application. An application actually kind of have a story behind it. Like, a man walks to the store, so this is more like an equation. So whenever you have something like this, the best thing to do is to look for the phrase or the word that will represent your equal sign. So here it says twice the sum of a number and 4 is the same as. So whether it says is or if it says is the same as, that represents your equal sign. So that's always going to be equals. Once again, it could have just said is, and that represents equals as well. But in this case, they use is the same as. So that gives you the right side of your equal sign and the left side of your equal sign. So before that, the left side of our equal sign, it says twice the sum of a number and 4. So twice means times 2. And then the sum of is the addition of a number and 4. So notice how I wrote that. You're talking about twicing the sum. We're not twicing x. We're not twicing a number. We're twicing the sum of a number and 4. So you add the number and 4 together, which is x plus 4, and then twice that. So you put parentheses around it. So if it said twice a number, then it would have been 2x, but it says twice the sum of a number and 4. So that's why you had to put parentheses around x plus 4, because that's the sum of the number and 4, and then multiply that times 2. All right. And then for the right side of our equal sign, it says 4 times the number. So that is 4x. And then decreased by 12. That means decrease means subtraction. So that's why we have 4x minus 12. All right. Questions on the setup before we go ahead and solve?
So what's the variable on this problem? What would be the variable?
Normally you use x. If it matters, MathLab will tell you. Because we got 26 letters, of course, that we could choose, and you have a right to choose whatever you want. But normally in MathLab, they'll say use x for the unknown or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And so with that being said, if you wrote down the same equation and you use a, but MathLab told you to use x, MathLab will mark it wrong. So if they gave you specific directions, make sure you hold true to the directions. All right, so from there, we can distribute the 2. That'll be 2x plus 8 equal to 4x minus 12. Now, like we talked about last class when we were talking about solving, if you have x in more than one place, you get all of your terms with x to one side, all of your terms without x to the other. So I decided to subtract 2x. Cancels out on the left, leaving me with just 8. Then on the right, I have 2x minus 12. Add 12 to both sides. And that'll leave you with 20 equal to 2x. Then divide by 2. X is equal to 10. All right. Any problems with that one before we look at another one? All right. Before we do this one, I'm going to write another one down. Hold on 1 second.
Are we writing this one down with you?
Yeah, I didn't have this one initially, so I'm just giving you another example. Went to the assignment to find another example. So yeah.
So we're going to be doing this one now.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
All right, so 3 times the number minus 4 is equal to 2 times the number plus 5. Find the number. All right. So, like I mentioned before, the first thing you want to look for is your equal sign. And so notice it says 3 times the number minus 4 is equal to. So that's our equal. So what comes before that is 3 times the number minus 4. And I saw in math lab, it did say use X as that number. So we'll hold true to that. So 3 times the number will be 3X minus 4. Then after that, it says 2 times the number, 2X plus 5.
But no parentheses this time on the
Nope.
3x minus 4?
Now, if it said 3 times the sum of a number minus 4, not minus, it wouldn't be minus, it'd be plus of a number plus 4, then that's when you would use the parentheses because you're 3 times the sum. But this just says 3 times the number, so that's just 3X.
Okay, understood.
All right. So if it was subtraction, it said 3 times the difference. Addition would be 3 times the sum if you're going to use the parentheses. All right, so this is our setup. Any questions on the setup before we go ahead and solve? Like I said, just giving you guys another example of this type of problem.
So on this setup right here, does it matter which side you take stuff from, or just whatever makes the most sense? Like you don't want to create a negative number, so you wouldn't take the 3x away from the 2x? Or would that matter?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, we can go ahead and do it that way. You know, it doesn't matter. You can move either one of these numbers first. It doesn't matter. When all is said and done, you'll still get the same answer. Like if I go back to the one that we had initially, if I decided to move the 4 first instead of the 2, then what would have happened is as I go throughout my problem, all of my signs would have ended up being different. And then when I got here, I would have had -20 over -2, which would have gave me the +10. So, so let's go ahead and do that. I'll move to 3x. Subtracting 3x from both sides. 3x is cancel. -4 equal to -1x plus 5. Subtract 5 from both sides. -9 equal to -8. I said -8, -x. All right, and so since we're solving for x, not -x, we'll take this negative and shoot it over to the other side. So negative to a negative for that 9 would be +9 equal to x.
Can you say that step one? What did you just say about that? The 2 negatives?
Well, you're solving for x. So you still have a negative that's sitting in front of x. So I took the negative over to the other side, and negative to a negative is positive.
Okay.
you know, that negative right here being applied to this negative over here turns into a positive 9.
Because a negative X would mean that we still got some problem solving to do to get.
Exactly.
Okay, okay.
All right. Any problems before we look at another one? All right, can I scroll up? Everybody good? All right, so yeah, let's look at this one. A 48-inch stick is to be cut into 2 pieces so that the longer piece is 3 times the shorter. Find the length of each piece. So don't want to do all that. That's the end result. So don't copy that part yet. That's the end. All right, so once again, we have a 48-inch stick. It's to be cut into 2 pieces so that the longer piece is 3 times the shorter piece. Find the length of each piece. So when we go about solving these, what we do not want to do, and that's why I think I put some, I must have went somewhere else for my notes initially, because I would have put steps up, but you don't want to you don't want to write your unknowns in terms of multiple variables. In other words, what you do not want to do is have one be X and the other one be Y. The more variables you're introducing to your equation or to your process, the more equations you'll need in order to be able to solve. And that means you'll need a system of equations instead of just one equation. So we don't want multiple variables. If we have multiple unknowns, the way that these problems are set up, you want to write each one in terms of one variable. So notice how they describe the 2 pieces in reference to each other. The longer piece is supposed to be 3 times the shorter piece. So the longer piece is described in terms of the shorter piece. So what we can do is call the short piece X and then call the long piece 3 times X. All right, so once again, we don't want to call one X and the other one Y. We want to write both of them in terms of the one variable. And so in this case, we're able to write the shorter piece as X and then the long piece as 3 times X. All right, any questions on the red part? All right, so when we talk about this stick, one piece is X, the other piece is 3X, and then in total is 48 inches. That was 48, yeah, 48 inches. So the short piece plus the long piece is supposed to equal out to the short piece plus the long piece is supposed to equal out to the piece, the total stick. So that's what we have here as far as your equation is concerned. X plus 3X is equal to 48. All right, so that's your equation. Your equation is based on whether you get your diagram or your visual of what's going on. All right. Any questions before we go to solve? So combine your like terms, X plus 3X, give you 4X equal to 48. Then we can divide by 4 and X is equal to 12. So before we finish out the problem, make sure we've answered everything that they asked of us. Any questions on how we got to X equal to 12? All right, so whenever dealing with word problems, you always want to make sure you've actually answered the question because you could have solved everything right. But if they ask you for more than one answer, then you didn't actually answer the question. So notice here it says solve, find the length of each piece, not just one piece. So we know X is 12, and that represents our short piece. And then 3 times 12 represents our long piece, which is 36. And then of course, if you add those together, you will get 48, which is how the length of the stick in total. All right. Questions before we look at another one? All right, can I scroll up? Anybody still copying? All right. Look at this one. Congress had a total of 435 Democrats and Republican. Let me make sure I got all that in there. Okay. Congress had a total of 435 Democrats and Republican representatives. There were 59 fewer Democrats than Republicans. Find the number from each party. All right, so the green is the end part. So I'm gonna scratch that out for right now. All right, so Congress had a total of 435 representatives, 59 fewer Democrats than Republicans. Find the number from each party. So once again, we have two different unknowns, Democrats and Republicans. There are 59 fewer Democrats than Republicans. So in this case, what we do is let the Republicans be X and then minus 59 from the X, and that will represent our Democrats. 59 fewer Democrats than Republicans. All right. So that's that representation right there. X minus 59 and X for R. And those added together should equal to 435, the total number of representatives. And so that's that equation right here. X plus X minus 59 equal to 435. Any problems? So I just put the parentheses there just to signify, you know, X came from Republicans, X minus 59 came from the Democrats. Nothing's holding those parentheses there. So in order to solve, we can go ahead and combine alike terms. X and X is 2X minus that 59. Add 59 to both sides. Maybe 2X equal to 494. Divide by 2. It's 247 for X. All right, questions. All right. So now, once again, you have to ask yourself,
I got
did we?
a problem. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
So 435. Okay. Okay. All right. I got it. I did that wrong. All right, I got it. No, I don't have a problem. I got it. I see my
Okay.
problem.
Okay, cool. All right. So now, once again, once you get your X, you got to ask yourself, did you answer the question fully or did you answer the question at all? So once again, we want to know the number from each. So we know X represents Republicans, so that's 247. And then if you minus 59 from that, that's 188. And if you were to add 247 and 188 together, you should get 435. Let's see if there's another good one. So we'll do one more. Okay, the larger angle measure one twice another small. Okay. All right, let's do one more here. All right, so we have a larger angle that measures 3 degrees more than twice the measure of a smaller angle. The two angles are supplementary. Find the measure of each. Okay, so before we get rolling, key relationship here is supplementary. Yeah. All right, so complementary angles, just in case you were to see that one. They're just two angles that add up to 90 degrees. And then supplementary angles are two angles that add up to 180 degrees. All right, so we have two angles, smaller angle and larger angle. So if we go back to the description, one is given in terms of the other. The larger angle measures 3 degrees more than twice the measure of the smaller angle. So we can call the smaller angle X, and it says 3 degrees more than, which is addition, twice the smaller angle. So 3 plus 2x. All right. So from there, remember I think I'll go blue. Our angles are supplementary. So that means when I add them together, they're supposed to equal 180. Any problems? All right, so that's our equation. We can go ahead and solve that now. Once again, nothing is holding those parentheses there. So we can go ahead and combine our like terms. X and 2x would be 3x. And so we have 3x minus 3x plus 3 equal to 180. So now we will minus 3. That's 177. Divide both sides by 3. X is going to be equal to, what's that, 5, 15, 59. All right, make sure we're okay. All right, can you go ahead and finish it off? Everybody good? All right, so going back, we want to find the angle, each angle, the measure of each angle. So X is 59, so our shortest, 59 degrees. And then here, 3 plus 2 times 59. Or since we know the supplementary, we could have subtracted it from 180. So it's up to you. Those are your two answers. Oh, the degree symbol. All right, questions on anything I've written? Any questions? All right. So, like I mentioned earlier, that's it for chapter 3. So let me scroll up. So we're looking at this first test, which I will make available for you to take on your own. So your first test, I was going to allow that to be unproctored. But let me go to your assignments. 2.2 through 2.5.
We got to take a test today in class.
Oh no, unless you're trying to make it happen like that, sir. I
Oh.
mean, no, I said you can take it on your own. Yeah. If I can get that. So test 1 will have 2.2 through 2.5, 3.1 through 3.4 on it. Unless, let me look at something real quick. Nope, hit the wrong button. God, take it. There you go. Yeah, okay. Just want to make sure I was flowing the same way I flowed for time. Yep. Okay, so put all of those, we'll put both of those chapters on the same test. Yeah, that'll be your first one. So I'm going to post that in my math lab. I'll try to do it tonight because I have a funeral to go to tomorrow. So I'll try to get it in there tonight, most definitely by Saturday, so that for those who are ready, you'll have it at your leisure to go ahead and knock out. Don't forget for your test, you always get 2 attempts to get the best grade possible. If you have any questions on anything, always make sure you ask. Next class, I'm going to open up the floor for questions first. So take this weekend, take time out, see what kind of questions are being generated, because the floor will be yours to ask whatever you want to ask before we do anything else. I will also create a test review. Remember, I talked to you about test reviews. They aren't mandatory, but if you do get that 85 or better, I'll add 5 points to your test. But if nothing else, at least take a look at it to see, to help you with streamlining your studies for what's going to be on that test. I know somebody said something in the chat about a quiz. Will not be any quizzes, just your homeworks and then your test that will sum up what you should have, taken from that chapter or chapters. All right. Questions on anything I've said? Questions?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you said we get 2 attempts on the test.
Mm-hmm.
Will it, if we take it and we get 2, first of all, how many questions is the test?
Around 20 to 25 at the most. Now, if it's light content, wherein some things maybe 1-step problems, wherein I'm trying to like throw you some bunnies, then it may be 30, only because there's some real light ones in there somewhere just to cushion. So I may do like that, but really, if it goes to 30, it's because I got some real easy ones in there. You know what I mean? Like just sometimes it's conceptual ones, just to, like I said, just to give you points. But normally I keep it around 20 to 25. Sometimes.
Okay, so if we take it and we get, say we miss 5 and we want to take it again, do we got to take the whole thing over again and it like takes the best grade?
Unfortunately, you do have to take the whole thing again, but it will take the best grade. I will see. Go ahead.
Will it tell us which ones we got wrong? Will it let us review which ones we got wrong? It will?
Yes. Okay. Tell you the answer and everything. So
okay, awesome.
I will see what your other score would. Like if you take it twice, I will see both scores, but I only take the highest, as far as what
Are,
counts.
are we allowed to use our notes, or do we have to do this just straight out our heads?
Oh yeah, man,
Like,
there's no way for me to govern that, you know what I mean? So yeah, do you? Um, I would just say, like I said, scratch work is all I require. So shoot me a picture of your scratch work for any test. You don't have to do it for homework, but for any test, you'll shoot me a copy of your scratch work. So you can either scan it, take a picture of it with your phone. So if you're having troubles doing it, shoot me an email individually, and we can work it out from there. So
okay.
anything else? Anybody else? So once again, next class, the floor will be yours to ask whatever you want to ask about anything that you've come across in my math lab or anything. If you bring a problem, make sure you bring the problem, So in other words, don't bring the issue, bring the problem, you know what I mean? So I think we talked about that before. Don't just come and say, I got problems with word problems. Well, is there a word problem that you got a problem with? You know what I mean? So go in there and say, okay, this is one I want to see him do. Like that type of thing. You know what I mean? Don't just say I got a problem with word problem. Go into your homework, pick a problem out so we can do it. And then we can go from there. That'll be easier for us to be able to make sure we're good. Let me see, trying to get in there. So just so I'm clear, the test to do. Let me see. I think I told you guys. Y'all will have a flexible due date, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look at you guys' stuff. Assignment manager.
And how do we submit the scratch work?
You
Like
can just email it to me.
email? Okay.
Yep.
Is there anything in the subject line that you want it to be labeled as, like, or
You can just say scratch work, and I know exactly what it is. Yep, that'll help most definitely. Thank you. So as far as due date, what I will do after I post the test, basically our next class, I will let you guys know what would be a decent due date for us. It will be on a Sunday. But I want to make sure that before where it go, come on back to me. My stuff got kicked out. Hold on 1 second. There we go. All right, so as far as due date goes, I want to post the test first, so everything's up there, and I can say, okay, now this block of homework and this test, this block of content will be due on such and such date. So due dates are normally on a Sunday, and you'll have an ample amount of time. Because remember, y'all not supposed to be just starting work right now. You know what I mean? Y'all supposed to be doing work up to this point, so it's not like I'm just dropping something brand new on you. So we'll talk about a due date on next class once everything has been posted for this content. Somebody said scratch for each question. So is that a question? He said scratch for each question. I want to make sure I understand what you're asking.
Did you want the scratch work to be submitted for each question for the test? I mean,
Whatever it takes for you to accomplish that. You know what I mean? Now,
that's
some
saying a
people
lot.
may say that again.
I said that's saying a lot.
Well, some people may use more scratch or may do more steps or write more steps out than other people. And so what I'm trying not to do is make people say you have to write down every single step. So I don't want to say that you have to do that, but for the most part, there should be some kind of scratch work for everything
Right.
that you do, unless you just cheating and throwing it in somebody's app. You know what I mean? So yeah, there
That's
should be
correct.
some type of scratch work for all of the problems that you have to do, even if you're not
Okay.
writing down every single step. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for asking. That was a good question. All right. Anything else? Anybody else? All right. So if you guys are good, I'm good. That's all I have for today. Like I said, take advantage of the weekend and the week, until I see you on Tuesday, see what kind of questions are generated. And once again, the floor will be yours to ask whatever it is you want to ask on Tuesday. And then we will go from there. So you guys have a great weekend. Be safe. Have a great Labor Day. Don't forget Monday we're off for those who have classes on Monday. Other than that, I'll see you on Tuesday. Take care. Thanks. You be safe as well. All right, Mr. Tucker, your hand went up.
Yes, sir. I I always got something. I try to wait for everybody because I don't want to hold everybody up.
Gotcha.
But I do. So there was another problem. I'm trying to find it on my homework because I labeled it for us. That was, it ended up being it ended up being an improper fraction was the answer.
Okay.
So, but I want to know, like, how do you determine when you're supposed to perform what's on an improper, if it comes out to be an improper fraction, not reduce it, but like actually perform like what it is, like divide, you know what I mean?
So in other words, if you have x equal to 13/7, how do you know not to go any further?
Yeah.
We should be.
Or if it ended up being 7/13. So go 7/13. Is it the same principle?
Yeah, you can leave both of them that way. Yeah, you shouldn't have to go any further with either one of those.
Man, I wish I was more organized in my stuff. I wrote down a whole bunch of stuff and it's just all scattered about now. Homework scratch notes. Let me read this like this. Question number 9, section 2. All right, so this is question number 9 in section 2.547. It asks to use the distributive property to write expressions without using parentheses.
Okay. So you can give it to me. I just got kicked out of math lab. You can.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, okay. Do you have the problem? Can you give it to me, or
Yes.
I need to go ahead?
I think it was. All right. So the problem is -4 parentheses 1 minus 2m plus n. That's it.
Okay. So here they don't want you to solve, they just want you to distribute.
It has an equal sign on it. At the end. Yes, it got an equal sign at the end. But
it doesn't have anything over here though, right?
Not sure about that. I'm reading from my paper. So I actually wrote it down because the problems change once you try to solve them or get them right or get them wrong. When you go back into them, it's not the same problem. So it wouldn't behoove me to direct us back to that problem because it's going to be a different version of the same.
Right. It'll be the same process though. It'll be the same process. They would just change the numbers. So what they want you to do here is distribute this -4. So you're not solving. You just simplify. They said rewrite it without the parentheses. So in order for you to do that, you have to distribute the -4. And that'll be -4 times 1, which is -4. -4 times -2, which is positive 8m. And then -4 times n, that's -4n.
So 4 plus 8 is not you don't do that?
Right here?
The 4 plus the 4. Yeah, that. I mean, those two are right there beside each other. Why wouldn't you do that?
Because this is not 8, it's 8m. So that's a whole term. So now if it was just 4 plus 8, then you're right. But that's 4 plus 8m. So because one is 4 and the other one has the m involved, you can't combine them. That goes back to your like terms.
Okay. All right. Homework scratch 31. Question number 31. Let's see. I think I might have figured that one out on my own. Wrong application on this is opposite sides of the sign. I think that's was probably the only problem that I had problem with other than going forward past what you're teaching us. So
Okay.
I can't I can't try to hold you up and use your time if you know, if I don't,
That's
like
all
I said,
good,
if I
man.
don't got my stuff together.
All
But
good.
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
I get that. I understand that now.
Mhm.
So I look forward to the test. I'm gonna
Okay.
take your is the test review already already up? Like, is that already available?
No, not yet. Like I said, I'm gonna try to get it in there, get both of them in there before the day is out. Because I had to create a whole new shell for the new book and everything, so I got to repopulate this whole shell altogether. And
Okay.
so, yeah, I'm gonna try to get that test in there today, so that you have access to it. I normally post the reviews first, and then post the test, so that you have access to that review. And
All right, I'm definitely gonna do it. If I get more than the 85 on the review, and then I get 100 on the test, I get 105.
yes, sir.
All right, let's go.
All right.
All right, brother. I
All
appreciate you,
right.
my man.
Not
Thank
a
you very
problem,
much.
man. Yeah, take care.
Enjoy your day.
You
Yep.
do the same.